Welcome to the Bottomless Rugby Show. This is where we basically review what happened this weekend in rugby, particularly the Southern Hemisphere. We might be starting to touch on the Northern Hemisphere in the next few weeks, if I can find it or find the schedule on Supersport somewhere. But yeah, thank you for joining us. As you can see on screen right now, it's all our social medias. Find us on them, follow us, comment on a post, let us know what you're thinking about the sport. And yeah, good to be with you guys again. It's pretty cold out here in this side of the world, so I hope wherever you are, you have a warm cup of something. Well, in South Africa, you can have some. Okay, stop there before I start talking too much about that. But yeah, let us start off with Super Rugby Australia. Right, this was an interesting weekend in Super Rugby Australia. Things may have not gone as planned in some of the games. But yeah, first up, Dub, let us know what happened in the Force and Tars game.
The Force hosted the Waratahs. This did not go as expected. I thought this might be a little bit closer. You know, maybe the Force could do something against another lowly ranked team. But the Waratahs really seem to have hit their form. This was going to be a battle between the lineout and the scrum. And quite frankly, the lineout was the pivotal thing of this match. The Waratahs were able to steal 8 of the Force's lineouts. That meant the Force only had a success rate for lineouts of 56%, which is just not enough. And then similarly as well, the Waratahs were then able to actually overcome that scrum dominance that the Force has had so far in Rugby. You managed to get 3 tight heads on them. So yeah, that really was a big difference in getting a good platform for the Waratahs. The Force just haven't been able to get any proper attack penetration as well. Waratahs good defense on this week, and we've seen multiple times in the match where the Waratahs were just going wide and wide, but they didn't manage to get any forward momentum over the advantage line. It just didn't work. Meanwhile, the Waratahs, on the other hand, when they got an opportunity, they were very effective to get penetration, good couple of line breaks, clean breaks, and so forth. None other than Jack Maddox was fantastic. He's going to get the man of the match from me as well. He was a lethal weapon and interjected himself in the line very effectively. So yeah, Waratahs winning that 28-8 quite convincingly. Very fitting for Michael Hooper's 150th. So congrats and enjoy.
Okay, I've always liked Jack Maddox. He's an exciting player, and yeah, I've seen he's been on real form the last 2 to 3 weeks. So yeah, hopefully that goes well. Jason, what happened in the Reds and Rebels game?
The Reds came back firing this week with a good 19-3 win over the Rebels, and what a comeback. You know, from their previous match, conceding 45 against the Waratahs side, who you wouldn't have expected to put that past them, to conceding only 3 against the very strong Rebels team. You know, this was fantastic from the Reds, and credit to them for the work they put on the training ground. And what inspired this comeback was their monster defense. They made a total of 204 tackles to the Rebels 66. That's mad numbers. And you can see why that's make them that many tackles, because they only had 33% of the ball. Now, what makes it even more incredible is they had so little ball, and they still managed to pull 3 tries out. I mean, just what a performance by them. And going to man of the match, one of the guys who inspired this defensive effort goes to Tanyela Tupou. The Tongan Thor was immense in that game. He was putting in big hits, knocking even the biggest runners of the Rebels back. His shoulder must be so sore today. He put in 17 tackles out of 19 attempted, again solid in scrumming, and no penalties from the big man. If he keeps his discipline good like this and keeps his form up, he has got to be in the conversation for one of the best 3s in the world. I mean, the man has just been incredible.
Perfect. Oh, the Tongan Thor, beast. Watching this guy for years now, and glad to see him coming together. Maybe he'll be the starter this year for the Aussies? But okay. Moving on to Super Rugby New Zealand. Righty, this was the last weekend of Super Rugby New Zealand. And yeah, one game was cancelled, which I was going to wake up for. And so then, yeah, we got Jason to still wake up. First of all, I'm glad to see that, as you guys can see, Jason doesn't look like he's filming from a hostage situation anymore. So that's pretty good for us. So yeah, Jason, let us know what happened in that game between the Landers and the Canes.
We finish up the Super Rugby Aotearoa tournament in style with the Highlanders win over the Hurricanes 38-21, and this was a surprise to be sure, but a welcome one. If you look at Super Brew, only 13% predicted this, and I mean, if you look at the form, it makes sense why they only predicted that. 5 straight wins for the Hurricanes versus 1 of the last 6 for the Highlanders. You know, it's really weird how this outcome came about, but it does make sense in the context of the match because the Hurricanes' discipline was bad. They had a couple of disallowed tries due to the infringements from themselves in the build-up, and the big moment of the match was Aotearoa costing a penalty try and a yellow card, and this opened the doorway for another Highlanders try which sealed up the match. It's just becoming problematic with this Hurricanes side that if they lose their head, they do it in a big fashion and it costs them games. But moving on to man of the match, and it's a big one. Aaron Smith on his 150th has to go to him. He has been immense throughout this entire tournament. And, you know, he got 91 passes in this game. Put that in context, the entire Hurricane starting backline only did 90. You know, he's really showing why he's one of the best nines in the world and why he is the cornerstone of this Highlanders team's success. So, big ups to the man. He is fantastic.
Oh, well done, Aaron. 150 games, despite all the shenanigans. That's pretty good. And he's still at the top of the game. So, keep playing and keep going well. So, right, that now brings us to our moment of the week.
A great job with the short passes. Here's a flat pass for Jonah Nariki. Again, it's wet and ploughing on downfield. He's made giant strides this season. Here is Nariki again, finding Collins, who's off on a searching run. What a good try!
Okay, that was pretty great. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Thanks for joining us this week. I know it's a bit of a shorter show than normal, but yeah, we're going to have some shake-ups over the next week or so be ready for them and be prepared. So thank you for joining us. Have a good one, guys, and cheers. Grab a brew of all kinds now, especially if you're in South Africa. So cheers, guys. Enjoy yourselves, and yeah, have a fun weekend.